Alright. Hey, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, all praise to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rachakodash, double honor to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect out there, alright? And basically, I'm going to name this video, it's going to be called Sex. Marriage is sex, or sex consummates marriage, and sex is not fornication, alright? Now, I want to go into it where you do have certain aspects of sex that does equal to fornication. And I'm going to the scriptures and bring this out. You know, I know this is a basic topic and all that, but it's a good thing to go into every once in a while to go into the basics and, you know, sharpen up. And, you know why? Because you're going to have gainsayers come up to the camp. You're going to, you know, basically the whole Christian wave, you know, which is the biggest stronghold on the world, and you know they come by the camps and things of that nature. So you got to be sharp. All right. The scripture says this. This is Proverbs 15:28. The heart of the righteous studieth to answer, but the mouth of the wicked poureth out evil things. That's right. The heart of the righteous is studieth to answer, man. With everything that we do, we do to give an answer according to knowledge. Why? To break those strongholds. Okay. Now, with that being said, I do have this right here. I lost it. I have a old. I don't even know what the other half of it is. This is like from the 70s, I believe. This compact Bible dictionary. Give me one second. Just had it. Let's see. Here it goes right here. I got it bookmarked. See it? It's basically in two. It was like I said, this is a very old compact Bible dictionary. You know, and this is a Zondervan, right? So I'm gonna go into that word marriage, and let's see what they say actually on it. All right, because you know people are gonna, like I said, people are gonna come up, they're gonna ask these questions and things of that nature on what marriage is, and what about sex, and what about fornication. Because a lot of times you're gonna be dealing with who? You're gonna be dealing with men, and men have desires. So we got to deal accordingly. We got to deal within reason and break things down correctly. Okay, and then also too, we got to break the stronghold. Why? Because if they're the hopeful elect, then they got to know the right thing. Okay, this is Compact Bible Dictionary. The word marriage. It says is an intimate, personal union. Okay, to which a man and a woman consent. All right, where they go off right there, a man and a woman consent, because we know what the law of rape. Okay, consummated and continuously nourished by sexual intercourse, and perfected in a long life partnership of mutual love and commitment. Okay? So, and that's true, man. And that's true, all right? So, basically, because you know, we live in a time now where, you know, you ain't got a virgin, okay? So, there's no way you could truly consummate marriage, because marriage is consummated through a woman's virginity. Okay, so I want to go into that as well. You know, let me get that as well. You know, just to prove that point. This is Deuteronomy chapter 22. Okay. Deuteronomy chapter 22. Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 15. I'm gonna start. Okay, then I'm gonna start at verse 13. If a man take a wife and go in unto her and hate her, right? And give occasion of speech against her, and bring up an evil name upon her, and say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I found her not a maid. Basically saying what? He didn't find her as a young woman, as a virgin. Okay? It says, then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city and the gate. And the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hateth her. And lo, he hath given occasion of speech against her, saying, I found not thy daughter a maid, and yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity. And they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city, and the elders of the city shall take that man and chastise him. See? And that's the point right there, because what? To show what? That the marriage was actually consummated correctly. You had to show what? A token of virginity, showing what? That there was blood, that the hymen was because that's what the word sex means. It means to cut. Okay? So basically, once the hymen was cut and then the woman would bleed, it would show forth what? That woman was basically taken, okay, by another man in marriage. That's what a token is. A token allows you to from one step to another. Okay? Now I want to get this as well. This is Genesis chapter 24 and the last verse. Genesis 24 and 67. And Isaac, I'm talking about Rebecca, Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent and took Rebecca, and she became his wife, and he loved her. Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. Right, so there was no altar where you got this man, he's, what do you call it, ordained by the government or the state, and they come together and holy matrimony, and you got to say vows and this, that, and the third. That was null and void back in the ancient world during the time of Israel, man. You know, really, even, you matter of fact, even during the time, even Gad and Reuben, you know, the northern tribes that were on this side actually still conducted in that manner, man. All right, that was well known. All right, there's certain quotes that you can pick up. All right, to where you know, Gad actually talked about that, man. All right, and having multiple women as well. Okay. So that's that. I want to get another point. All right. This is just to prove that sex equals marriage. Okay. Yeah, let me get this one first. This is John chapter 4, right? This is proving what? That sex is marriage, man. Okay. John chapter 4, and this is out of Yahushua's mouth. Why would he say this to the lady? Okay? Doesn't make any sense. All right? Because if it took you to make vows and a ring and get a contract and all that, you know, Yahushua wouldn't have said all this, man. You know? This is John chapter 4, you know. Let me go to the point. We'll go to verse 15. The woman saith unto him, Sir, give me this water that I thirst not, neither come hither to draw. Yahushua said unto her, Go call thy husband and come hither. The woman answered and said, I have no husband. Yahushua said unto her, Thou hast well said, I have no husband, for thou hast had 5 husbands, and he whom thou now is not thy husband, and that saidest thou truly. That's right, because she was trying to come up being conniving and all that, but Yahushua knew that, you know, she dealt with many men prior that she got around pretty much. And basically, when a man pops a virgin, that's the only way he could become that man's wife. That she could become that man's wife. All right? And he knew that she dealt with many men, so he said thou has had 5 husbands. So why would he say that? Why? Because he understood the fact that a man and a woman, when a man pops a woman, that consummates marriage. So she thought she was tricking him, but she was basically tricking herself. He said, yeah, you're right, you don't. Why? Because he understands the fact that when a man gets with a woman, that woman's supposed to stay with that man until death. When that man pops that cherry, so to speak, that woman's supposed to stay with that man until death. And that's why he said what he said. And I'm going to prove that as well. This is Mark. All right? Matter of fact, there's another one. I want to get Matthew 16, I believe it is. Because it basically says the same thing as Mark. Matthew chapter 16, right? Yo, I think I messed up again. All right, let me try 6 and 14. I think I wrote down the wrong scripture. No. Give me 1 second. I'll just go to the one in Mark. Mark chapter 10, verse 11. It says, and he said unto... Let me restart from 5. And Yahushua answered and said, right, for the hardness of your heart, he wrote... Okay, I got to start from the top. Verse 1. And he arose thence and cometh into the coast of Judea by the farther side of Jordan, And the people resort unto him again, and he was wont. He taught them again. And the Pharisees came to him and asked him, Is it lawful for a man to put away his wife, tempting him? And he answered and said unto them, What did Moses command you? And they said, Moses suffered to write a bill of divorcement and to put her away. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, For the hardness of your heart he wrote you this precept. But from the beginning of creation, the Most High made them male and female. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. So then are no more twain but one flesh. What therefore the Most High have joined together, let no man put asunder. Right? You can't put apart, because a man and a woman have a bond, a spiritual bond. Okay? You're not supposed to split that. You're not supposed to make that asunder. Okay? Because the Most High, what the scripture says, that he that getteth a wife, get a gift from the Most High. In so many words, it's in Proverbs. Okay? It says, continuing on, it says, and in the house of his disciples asked him again on the same matter. And he saith unto them, Whosoever shall put away his wife and marry another committeth adultery against her. And if a woman shall put away her husband, no. Yeah. And be married to another, she committeth adultery. See? Because now the point there is that, I'm going to read it again. It says, And he said unto them, Whosoever shall put away his wife and marry another committeth adultery against her. Meaning what? If he put her away and then she pop another man, then she committed adultery. That's why I said committed adultery against. It says what? It says committed adultery against her. But then it says later, it says she committed adultery. You see? So when you do that, you make the woman to go off and basically have sex with another man, and then that's off. That's adultery. Okay? That's why the scripture said, I thought I had it already. Oh, man. Let me see something real quick. That's why the scripture said what? He said, you wicked and adulterous generation, man. All right? Let me see. Let me see 4. Oh, it's 4. Salaki, I put 14. All right. So this is Matthew chapter 16, verse 4. A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given to it but the sign of the prophet Jonas. See? And that's the point right there, because our generation is a wicked and an adulterous generation, man. All right? You got, basically, no one dealt with a virgin, man. Or if you did deal with a virgin, nobody kept that virgin, man. All right? So everybody's, it's like, the neighborhood doorknob, everybody gets a turn type shit, and that's wicked. And that's why this society is turned wicked. The scripture says that if the city be turned to whoredom, then the whole city should be wicked, man. All right. So that's it on that, and I'm gonna deal with the concept of fornication, because there's many things that we can go into and show what true fornication is. Now, matter of fact, when that scripture was read, Matthew 10 and 11, I want to actually go to that word there for fornication. All right. And see what it says, because when you do the research, even the scholars, like even here, they knew that marriage was consummated by sex. All right. Give this a moment, just let it load up, and we're gonna get the definition for fornication. All right. Like I said, this is something basic, but it's good to sharpen up, man, because, and then for you younger brothers out there, man, like, through the Spirit of the Lord, the experience that I have, I know how to go to certain scriptures and get it quick when people come up and ask. For you younger brothers out there, you're supposed to be on that type of level to when somebody come up and ask a certain question, you should already know what to go to, man. Because it's one thing to repeat it, but it's another thing to actually go into the scriptures and break it down and show it with scripture. All right? Give me 1 second. All right, this is Mark chapter. I'm sorry. Well, I'll get this one. All right, it's Mark 7:21. It says, for from within out of the heart of men proceed evil thoughts, adulteries, fornications, and murderers. Now I want to get. I'm in the wrong. What's the name? Let me go to Blue Letter. I'm in the wrong app. My bad. I can give me 1 second. Come on, thing. All right. Because there's a difference between spiritual fornication and then straight up fornication. Okay? Matter of fact, what I'm going to do first, all right? What I'm going to do first, I'm going to go to 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, okay? Yeah, let me go there. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 17. I'm sorry, verse 7. In fact, I got to read it out here because my scriptures is ripped. Salakia for the delay, you know. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 1. Furthermore, then we beseech you, brethren, and exhort you by the Lord Yahushai, right? So we got to exhort you by the Lord Yahushai, meaning what? Going to the scriptures, okay? That as ye have received of us how ye ought to walk and to please the Most High, so ye would abound more and more. For ye know that what commandments we gave you by the Lord Hamashiach, Yahushai. For this is the will of the Most High, even your sanctification, which is going to make you clean, right? That ye shall abstain from fornication. All right, now let's go into that word fornication. This scripture is more so talking about spiritual fornication. However, I still want to go into the word. Matter of fact, yeah, I'll just go with it. All right. Yeah, the Greek word there is porneia. That's where you get the word porno from. You know, the porns, shit, that's fornication. Right? It says illicit sexual intercourse. Listen to this. It says adultery, fornication, homosexuality, lesbianism, intercourse with animals. See, this is all things that pertain to the Lord. Okay? It doesn't say nothing about, you know, popping a woman that when you didn't put a ring on it. Okay? It says sexual intercourse with close relatives. Again, see, it even shows you here, Leviticus 18. Sexual intercourse with a divorced man or woman, which they're correct on that. Okay? Meaning, what's a divorced man or woman? A woman that got popped already, man. All right? The man part, they going off. Okay? Slightly. It says, metaphor, the worship of idols, of the defilement of idolatry, as incurred by eating the sacrifice of offered to idols. That's fornication. Okay? See, it didn't say nothing about or not going and getting a ring and going to an altar and having a big ass feast and all that shit. It didn't say nothing about that. All right, now you did have weddings, okay, that basically would alert the rest of the city or alert the rest of the town, if you will, and alert the elders and everyone to show what? That these two are now joined under one flesh. That's why when Yahushua went to that wedding, they already did the damn thing, if you will. You know? And then once the token of the virginity was shown, then you would have the wedding. Just ass fucking backwards. Right now, you have you have a wedding, then you go on a honeymoon, and that's when you're supposed to have sex. That's ass fucking backwards. All right? You're supposed to have the sex and then have the wedding. All right? Show you how backward this society is, man. You know? But now I want to keep going on this. I'm going to keep reading 1 Thessalonians 4 and 3. It says, for this is the will of the Most High, even your sanctification, that ye should abstain from fornication, that every one of you should know how to possess his vessels in sanctification and in honor, not in the lust of concupiscence, meaning what? On unlawful desires, okay? Even as the Gentiles which know not the Most High. Now that's why I gotta go back. My scriptures is ripped. All right, verse 7. All right, no, continue verse 6. That no man go beyond and defraud his brother in any matter, because that the Lord is the avenger of all such, as we also forewarn you and testified. For the Most High hath not called us unto uncleanness, but unto holiness. And that's the point right there, man, because it mentioned defrauding your brother. That's a form of fornication, man. Okay? Now let me, this one, I'm going to go to this. This is Wisdom of Solomon, all right? Because there's two forms of fornication, man. All right? There's a fornication where you defiling your flesh, with like the blue letter said, sleeping with beasts, you know, homosexuality, you know, those are all forms of fornication. Okay? Now, this is Wisdom of Solomon, all right? Chapter 14, verse 12. For the devising of idols and the beginning of spiritual fornication and the invention of them, the corruption of life. And that's the point right there, man. All right? When you start dabbling into other gods, starting to conduct in the manner of which you were prior to you coming into this knowledge, that's a form of fornication. Okay? Now, right. Now it says, oh shit, where's that other scripture? Fuck. Oh, that was Galatians. Let me read, I believe it was Galatians. No. First Corinthians. I think it's 1 Corinthians, the 5th chapter. Give me 1 second. Shit. 1 Corinthians chapter 5. Yeah. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 1. It is reported commonly that there is fornication among you, and such fornication is not so much as named among the Gentiles, that one should have his own father's wife. There was another scripture that talked about abstaining from men that were fornicators, you know, pretty much. And the reason being, it said fornicators, I believe it said idolaters, you know. Oh, shit. Let me see if I can, oh, man. Fuck. Thought I wrote that one down. Is this it? Let me try this scripture. Bear with me again, Akim Salakia. Acts chapter 15, verse 29. Okay, this is good enough right here. Acts chapter 15, 29. That ye abstain from meats offered to idols, and from blood, and from things strangled, and from fornication, well, it says fornication, from which if ye keep yourselves, ye shall do well, fare ye well. And that's talking about spiritual fornication, those Israelite foreigners that were coming into the knowledge. Let me see. I can find it, man. Give me 1 second. I think it's Galatians. Thought I wrote it down. Oh, it is 1 Corinthians 5. Okay. 1 Corinthians 5 and 9. I wrote unto you in an epistle not to company with fornicators. See? Not to company with fornicators. Ye not altogether with the fornicators of this world, or with the covetous, or extortioners, or idolaters. Right? Now it says idolaters, and it says fornicators as well, showing that this one is talking about a difference. For then must he needs go out of the world. Now, the reason why that was mentioned, because the scripture says this. All right? Because adultery, that's talking about adultery, you know? Through the Spirit, it's talking about adultery. The scripture says this, Proverbs chapter 6, verse 32. It says, but whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding, and he that destroyeth his own soul. And the scripture says what? They that wander out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. And that's why he goes into 1 Corinthians, the 6th chapter. He talks about that, how life and death have no bond. They have no yoke. So if there's a man that's amongst you that's a fornicator, that's an adulterer, then he ain't supposed to be among you. We don't dwell. We don't rock with them. Okay? Point blank, period. All right? Now, some other points real quick that I want to get. Let me go to this one real quick. I got two more scriptures. This is Sirach. All right? Sirach chapter 23, verse 16. Okay? It says, two sorts of men multiply sin, and a third will bring wrath. A hot mind is a burning fire. It will never be quenched till it's consumed. A fornicator in the body of his flesh will never cease till he have kindled a fire. And that's right. That's why the spirit, when when a nigga get, what happened? When nigga, popping all sorts of women, what happens? He gets burnt. All right? That's why I say he was going to kindle in the fire, man. The nigga getting burnt. All right? It says, all bread is sweet to a whoremonger. He will not leave off till he die. And that's the point right there, man. All right? That's the point. So you got two different occasions of fornication. All right? You got fornication, which is spiritual. All right? Devising of idols, getting into those idols, getting into the ways of the Gentiles. But you also, too, you have the fornication of in the flesh. All right? Which is basically going off in the law. And that proves right there that the law is not done away with. All right? Now, last thing I want to get, last scripture I want to get, and this is going to top the cake, all right? Because, this is like I said, it's going to top the cake, man. All right, so prove this one, This is Hebrews chapter 12, verse 16, right? Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. That's right, man. And that goes into that defiling of the brother, man. Because that's what Esau was. He was a fornicator in the spirit, man. Esau didn't get a woman and pop her or anything like that. And then the Most High called him a fornicator. No. He was a fornicator because he tried to deceive his brother. It says profane person. That's another thing that people got a misconception of, or what profane or what profanity is. Profanity doesn't mean that you said the F word or the S word or anything like that. Profanity means that you're speaking outside the temple, that you lack faith, essentially, man. Because that's what Hebrews the 12th chapter is essentially talking about. So a fornicator is another person we could call a fornicator is a person that lacks faith. For infidelity, man. Okay, that's why they try to equate the two together. They try to say, a man and a woman, or they call an infidel a person that basically, like a man, if he popped another woman outside of the wife that he already had, he's an infidel. All right, and that's completely bugged out, man. All right, but a woman is an infidel if she's popping another man. All right, point blank, period. All right. But that's the point right there. Like I said, this is very, it was basic. It was simple. It was to the point, and it's just, just to help sharpen brothers' swords, man. All right? With that, all praise to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, double on Sa apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect. Bashim Rachak Wadash.